The G3 Battle Rifle, a classic that I like to call old reliable. It's in a wide variety of first-person shooter games, shooting a massive round 7.62 by 51, which is just chunky, and it is no different in Delta Force, doing a very high damage per bullet at a very long range. So a little while back I made a G3 build for level 25 and under, as this weapon does unlock as soon as you start playing the game, but now it's time for me to release my full build for the G3. So starting off with a blank slate here, you have multiple choices of barrels. Now I tried to make something with like the platform marksman barrel combo, which gives you 7 extra meters in range, and then this one which gives you 6 extra meters, but the downsides are so bad on this, and the base range for the G3 is pretty decent at 40 meters for the range at which you're doing maximum damage. 26 damage per shot is pretty substantial. So I decided to go with the G3 guard standard barrel combo, which gives you an extra 2 meters in range as well as 5 extra control. So install that, and then we're going to calibrate this with plus 50 grams and plus 10 millimeters to get extra muzzle velocity and more firing stability, as this weapon is going to be used mostly at range. For the muzzle device, I chose to go with the Bastion horizontal compensator because there is some nasty horizontal recoil on this weapon. So go ahead and install that, and then if we look at the details, as you can see, it's getting a lot better. There are a lot less kinks in the recoil pattern. For the bipod, I actually chose to put a bipod on this one because the slot is always available, and it is very, very good, obviously, when you're putting a bipod down and firing at extremely long ranges. So install that. For the foregrip, now, I was opting for the resonant ergonomic foregrip, or like the RKO or K1, so I chose to go with the X25U because this weapon does have a lot of recoil. The base control on it is absolutely abysmal, which is why we want to bump it up as much as possible. So install this, and then go ahead and calibrate this with plus 5 slots to get a little bit extra control. For the magazine here, now you have 2 options, the 30 round mag or the 50 round drum mag. Now granted, the 50 round drum mag does offer you a lot more rounds to deal with. Look at the downsides here. Negative 12 handling. The handling on this weapon is not ideal right from the rip, and then if you put the 50 round on here, negative 12 handling is rough. So I chose to go with the 30 round mag, giving you negative 6 handling, no other penalties, and then obviously you can put the mag assist on here, which gives you 1 handling back. For the rear grip, you only have 2 options here, so the G3 skeleton grip or the PSG1 rear grip. I chose to go with the PSG1 rear grip to get some more stability because, again, firing this weapon mostly at range, or at least you try to take long range engagements. And then for the calibration, I chose to go with negative 50 grams on this one to get extra aiming stability while breathing. For the stocks here, you have a wide variety of stocks. I chose to go with the Invasion Core stock, just flat out giving plus 6 control at the cost of nothing else. So really bumping up that control here. And then for the stock, I increase the weight by 50 grams and increase the placement by 3 slots to get more control and extra firing stability. For the optic here, I would recommend putting like a 2x or a 3x. I don't like magnified optics, that's just a me thing, so I just put a red dot on here, and then I just reduced the eye relief by negative 20 millimeters. I could have honestly increased the zoom, but I just chose not to, but it would probably be ideal to either have a red dot with the increased zoom or a magnified optic on here. Then for all of these slots here, you can actually put patches even on the left and right rail slots. I chose to put 2 KC Hound handguard panels on these 2, and then on the front 2, I chose to go with 2 Ranger handguard panels to get a little bit of extra control. Now, in order to actually be able to use this build, you will need to level up the G3 till level 46, but this thing just is insanely powerful, but you really need to use it at longer ranges because coming up against somebody that has a fast firing weapon like the M4, the AS Val, or any SMG, really, you're going to get outgunned here. The strength of this weapon is taking fights at longer ranges because the fire rate is incredibly slow, or at least slow enough. It's at 533 shots per minute, which is really not fast, but you are doing that 26 damage model up to 42 meters with a specific build, and there's no damage multiplier for leg shots or arm shots, so you're doing 26 across the board, and then it has a 2x headshot multiplier, so you're doing 52 damage to the head. So if you can get a headshot off or 2 in a row, then that's 2-shot kill, right? But unfortunately, if you're getting 1 headshot and then 2 body shots, it's still going to take you 4 shots to kill. So in the best scenario, it's 2 BTK. In the worst scenario, it's 4 bullets to kill, but up to 42 meters. Now, unfortunately, one of the downsides of this weapon is the handling, and I had tried different builds for like better handling and stuff like that. It just wasn't performing up to how I would expect it to perform, so I just adapted my playstyle instead and really tried to engage people at those longer ranges at which you have the upper hand. Now, granted, some weapons are just laser beams at those longer ranges, and considering how fast they fire, you might still get outclassed in certain situations, but the G3 is very, very strong, and using that bipod, you can easily beam somebody down from like 100+ meters. I was shooting people off of the tower on Delta and cracked from like Charlie 1, which is quite far. I think that's like 200-ish meters away, and the gun was barely moving when I was using the bipod on it, which is why I chose to actually put the bipod on the weapon, because at those longer ranges, it is really nice to have. The one build I haven't tried for the G3 yet is like a CQB build with like no stock and like the shortened barrel. Might do that in a future video, but I felt I would play to the strengths of this specific weapon, with this high damage model and really longish range at which you can do that maximum damage. So unfortunately, the G3 is an engineer only weapon, so you will have to play engineer in order to be able to use this weapon. Kind of unfortunate. I would like to see more weapon variety among some of the classes in Delta Force, because some just seem to get the short end of the stick. Not to name any, but support always gets the short end of the stick, but I digress. The G3 is just a classic weapon in like a ton of first-person shooters, and it feels very good to fire in Delta Force. It feels very powerful and strong and chunky, and that's, I guess, how you want a battle rifle to feel in a first-person shooter game, like you're really putting the damage down range with this thing. So that'll be it for this build video. The share code for this build will be in the description down below, as well as a link to the G-sheets for all of my builds that I've done for Delta Force. Also, it will be in the top pinned comment. Let me know which weapon you'd like to see featured in an upcoming video. In any case, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.